This past Sunday, I had one of the hardest days I've had in a long time. Something came up with my daughter. My partner and I were in a full spiral. And I, right, the person who teaches nervous system regulation, who built an entire framework off of this, spent most of the day barely holding it together. And I want you to sit with that because I think that there is this quiet belief that if you do enough of the work, that eventually you won't fall apart anymore. And that is not what this work promises ever. And today I want to tell you what it actually does. I'm Tiffany O'Hearn, holistic healer, nervous system guide, and speaker. And as always, don't take my word for it. Try it on. Before we go there, if you have been in a moment recently where you completely lost yourself, where the feelings took over and you could not find your way back, Let It Go was built for exactly that. It's a 60-minute workshop on releasing what was never yours to carry. It has a live clearing practice, also a 15-minute guided meditation that is also the clearing practice so that you can listen to it over and over and over again. It also has a 396 hertz and a 528 hertz frequency track to help calm your nervous system in real time. It's $47, and the link is in the bio. Because what you're about to hear, that workshop, it's the practice behind it. And so we're going to get into what dysregulation looks like from the inside when it's happening specifically in a relationship, because it's not dramatic, it's quiet. And it's this internal chaos that has no words yet. And then the narrative starts and the story machine, it turns on. And that story, it wants to blame. It wants to make someone else responsible for what you are feeling. Not because you're a bad person, but because that is what a threatened nervous system does. It scans for the source of danger and it points. And on Sunday, to be in my body, it felt almost foreign. I had just this tightness that it felt almost like it couldn't subside, like I was underneath a rock. And then I had these like skin crawling sensations, where actually I wanted to literally jump out of my skin. And perhaps it was more intensified because I spend more time in my body, but it truly felt like something I haven't experienced in a very long time. And here's the hardest part. I could know all of that. I could name it. And I've said those exact words to other people. And on Sunday, I watched myself want to do it anyways. The narrative within becomes this mean thing, this voice that wants to blame everybody else. And it's okay. It's allowed to be there. The work is not to never have it. The work is not to act on it. And the other really wild thing in relationships, in any relationship, you are attracting it. And so the chaos that I felt inside becomes my outside reality. And the same is true for you. When there's chaos on the outside, make no mistake, it has originated from within. And that is also a sign of dysregulation. And again, I'm not saying any of this is easy, but it becomes available with repetition, with practice. And I know I've spoken about this before, right? You're feeling dysregulated. You don't have the words for it yet, but that's the work, is to develop the words and then to let it go. But we need that awareness. We need that conscious ability to not fix, to not change anything, but to actually just exist in it. And here's the practice, and here's the reps, the repetitions, because everything in life is a practice, right? Everything in life is a practice. And so imagine that I say to you, you don't have to be dysregulated. Just say. We know that that's not reality, but let's just say we're going to start to really change and enhance your state, to open up your state. I'm not going to do it. You are. And so I say, I want you to come with me. I want you to plant a garden. Because as I always say to everyone who is in my field with these teachings, is this comes through me. I don't know why. I don't know anything. I just speak. And so all I'm doing is inviting you to see the seeds. They're already in your hand. And you just need to plant those seeds, but then tend to them. Tend to them as if your life depended on it. And that's what you do. And so you come to me and you say, Tiffany, I'm ready. And I say, take out your seeds and let's go to the garden. And we come out to the garden. Now imagine this. It's on the countryside. It is this beautiful landscape. There's mountains behind it. There's sun shining. Just even being in this space is already transformative, because it just invites this calm and this peace within it. And so then I say, okay, you have your seeds, right? And you say, yeah. But you ask me a question and you say, well, there's rocks where I'm supposed to plant this. And I say, yeah, there's rocks there. And every time you practice non-reaction, every time you become aware of the dysregulation, every time you consciously choose the choice to breathe, to do all of these little practice, you take one stone and it just, let's say it just disappears. And then something comes through your field again, and you don't react. You pause, you breathe, you hum, you implement these practices. And now you take 2 stones, and now they're gone from the garden. And then the next day, you do the same thing. Except for this time, you're going to take 3 stones. And so if you notice, the stones keep compounding. Why? Because every time you become aware, you create a little bit more space. You have a little bit more consciousness than you did before. And so you continue to practice this. And in no time, your garden has no more rocks. And now you have this space to start planting the seeds, to start sending them so much love, because you are the seeds. You are those seeds. And with every one, you're planting this new knowing within you. It's not a belief, because you've been operating on your beliefs, but you're planting this knowing. And then you're nurturing it with love. And watch what grows. It's a miracle. It is a miracle. You have everything within you. And this is the work. It's not about not becoming dysregulated. It's about what you do within it. And so what did I actually do, right? Not this polished version, not what I wished I could do. What I actually did, number one, I witnessed it. I could not regulate. The tools fell out of reach. And I know them. I know them by heart. But I was like, nope, F you, not doing it. And I knew it. I knew it. I knew what I was sounding like. I knew the chaos within. And it's okay. Because when you're in full dysregulation, the breathing, the grounding, some of those things feel impossible. That's okay. So instead of forcing regulation, I just watched it. I became the observer of my own internal chaos. And that alone, that small act of witnessing, created just enough space for number two, which was I kept my mouth shut. Zoom, shut. And I'm going to be honest with you, that was hard because it goes against everything in me. I want to communicate. I want to connect. I want to resolve. I want to move past. And my nervous system was screaming. My ego was screaming at me to engage and to make my case and to be heard and to fix it and to have the last word. And I did not. Not because I'm disciplined, because I knew that nothing coming out of my mouth in that moment was not me. It was those wounds talking, the trauma, breathing. And you have the right to pause any conversation at any point in time. That is not a weakness. And it doesn't matter what the other person says. It is the most regulated thing you can do in most instances is to pause a conversation. I need a moment before I can speak to this. I like to say, I don't have the bandwidth for this right now. And there's a way to do it, boundaried and open, which is to let the other person know, I get that this is important to you. It's also important to me. And therefore, I'm going to pause and ask that we can come back to this when we are both available. Keyword, available. I don't have the bandwidth, and I will reconnect when I am available for it. We have to invite that for the other person, though, because this is a relationship, right? And they might not be available when you are, and that is okay. It's not an ego choice. It's not an ego decision, right? It's the reality. And so that is a nervous system decision. It's not an avoidance strategy. And so, number one was to witness it. Number two, shut your mouth. Shut my mouth. And number three, I reminded myself that all of this is for my highest good. And I want to be clear about what that means because it is not a bypass. I was not using it to skip the feeling and just think, well, the universe, it's okay, right? I was using it to trust the feeling, to say, yeah, this is happening and it's real and it's showing me something. I don't know what yet. I may never know. But the universe does not create accidents ever. And so something that has really helped me along my journey is to continuously remember this, especially when it's hard. Everything, and I mean everything, is to raise our consciousness. Everything is to expand our state. I do not believe that because I know it. I know it to be true. Prior to coming on to this, I literally looked outside and saw my dog flipping something in her mouth. And so I went out there. She's part whippet, so she had something. And I realized it was a baby bunny. And so this just intense emotion just kind of was within me for what my dog doesn't know and for what these poor little baby bunnies don't know, right? And so I realized that she had unearthed this nest. And so I put the bunnies back and I just prayed with them. And I just sat and sent them so much love and myself so much love, and really being grateful for this moment to raise again my consciousness, because there's something that I don't know here. Everything is an opportunity. It's how we experience it. And so I'm going to go back to Sunday night because I was laying on my PEMF mat, which is pulsed electromagnetic frequencies. These are just some of the practices that I have. And so I'm laying on my mat, just doing my best to get into my, somewhat lesser dysregulated state, and felt absolutely inaccessible. And my skin was literally crawling. My feet wouldn't stop moving. I wanted to, it felt like Superman when he takes off his clothes. It felt like there was this screaming, like inner child that just wanted to just rip off the skin and just emerge screaming. Like it just wanted to jump out. And I stayed with it, not because it was comfortable, because I knew that it is just this moment. It's not forever. It's a feeling moving through a body. And the only way out is through. And it's not bypassing and it's not shutting down. It's the most courageous thing I know how to do, to be in it without running from it. And sometimes that is the work, to just be in it. And that is okay too. I know that tomorrow is another day. I know that in 5 minutes, everything can change. And I know that whatever I'm experiencing is for my highest and greatest good. I also know that when something is that rattling inside of me, it is for my greatest growth. We don't grow in calm and peace. We grow layer by layer, by experiencing, by letting go of our wounds and our traumas. And so Monday morning, I woke up and I was still there. Not as heavy, but there. I breathed in the morning, right? I sent love. And what I could do Monday that I could not do Sunday was I could sit with it. And I was in the car and I felt it, the tightness in my chest, that just dysregulation starting to just creep in. And instead of pushing it down or letting it pull me back into this story, this narrative, I paused. I allowed it. I allowed the feeling to grow. And I sent it love. And then I gave it to God. You can pick, it doesn't have to be God, it can just be the universe. And I watched it release in a matter of seconds. And I did it layer by layer every time I had that feeling. Not because I figured anything out, not because the situation was resolved, but because I gave the feeling space to exist without shame. And that is exactly what I teach in Let It Go. The practice of allowing a feeling to be present, not to fix it, not to understand it, just to feel it move. And it always moves. It just needs space. And so every Monday for the past couple months, I have come on here and done a live, one of these teachings. And I didn't even consider it yesterday. I didn't have the space to. I was not available to speak because if I had forced something under some false pretense, right? Because I had to, because I would lose engagement or whatever it is, then I would have done myself and you a disservice. I didn't need to do anything. I don't need to do this, right? And so I didn't. And I let it go. I let go that anything was going to happen because I wasn't meant to. If I was, I would have done it, right? And I'm just giving you some of this, these tools, this language. You have to find your own for it. I implore you to try it on, right? That's why you're here. I see Sheena's joined us. That's why you're here, right? I don't know why you're here. Only you do. This is the work. You change your life from the inside out. It's not the reverse of that, but everything will show you that it is. And so we have to start tending to our garden. You have all the seeds. And this is the work inside Let It Go, right? Show you how to let it go. Some things are deeper than others, and they take a practice to continue. We don't have to intellectualize it. We don't have to say, well, this was back in 1992 when my mother didn't answer my call when I was 7 years old or didn't pick me up. It doesn't matter. The story doesn't matter. You just sit with the feeling and you learn how to actually feel it, because our ego is telling us the easiest thing to do is to bypass it, is to not feel it. But that's just a dysregulated nervous system, because we don't need to analyze it, survive it, or feel it, right? It's a 60-minute workshop with a live clearing practice. And the guided meditation is for you. It's the same clearing practice within it that you can take and have on your person. I also include a 396 hertz and a 528 hertz frequency track. And if you've never listened to these frequencies, I implore you to try it on because they will help you change your state. It's $47. The link is in the bio because you have been carrying this long enough. And again, we need to fill our tool bag. We need to have these things available to us. On Sunday, no amount of frequency, I feel, was going to shift me in that moment. And that's okay. The Buddha just fell. That's okay, right? It doesn't have to be perfect. You're not going to break your journey. You just keep moving. You witness, you feel, and you watch as miracles happen. Because here's what I really want you to understand. We do not grow in calm, in peace. We grow in adversity. We grow in seeing these loops and witnessing them and choosing, even imperfectly, something different. The spiral is not evidence that you're failing. It is evidence that something is asking to be seen. And it's why your life keeps recreating. It's why you keep ending up in the same relationships. It's why you end up in the same jobs. It's why all of your life keeps looping, because it is demanding your attention. And the difference between someone who's transformed and someone who stays stuck is not talent, it's not intelligence, it's not even desire. It's the willingness to stay in conscious awareness, to say, I do not fully understand this yet, to take a back seat to what you do not know and trust with full faith that what is happening is not here to punish you. It came here to lead you. Now, 2 days later, I look back at Sunday and I smile, not because it was easy, because I can see exactly what it was showing me. And what it was showing me was space. That in those moments, everything is okay. Everything is for my highest and best good. And so it is for you. It's not as a concept, it's as a living knowing. And so let's bring it into the body right now. Let's try it on. Think of something that has been activating you and just allow it to come up, a relationship, a situation, a feeling that keeps coming back, and just let it be there. Don't try to fix it. Don't try to understand it. Place one hand on your chest and breathe in slowly through your nose, full and slow. And just hold for just a moment. And exhale longer than the inhale, all the way out. And now, instead of asking, why is this happening? Ask this. What is it showing me? And it's not to answer it. It's to begin that conversation with yourself. That is the practice, and that is the work. Try it on. You're not failing because you fall apart sometimes. You are human with a nervous system that was shaped long before you had any say in it. The goal was never to stop feeling. The goal was never to be so regulated that nothing touches you. That's not the goal. The goal is to feel it and to find your way back, to come back to your true north. And Sunday showed me I can do that. And so can you. And so share this with someone who needs to hear it. Subscribe. Let me know how this landed for you. Follow along. And when you're ready, Let It Go is live. The link is below, as you have been carrying this long enough. This is Try It On, where awareness meets the nervous system and real change begins from within. And take this into your life, not as something to believe, as something to try. Until next time, I wish you a beautiful life.